Singapore. More than 20 years after being part of an armed robbery, a 59-year-old man was on Wednesday, June 13, sentenced to 4 years in jail. Phu Siang Tian, a Singaporean, had committed the offence on July 5, 1996 with two accomplices, Li Yang and Hao Meng Yan, who were dealt with the same year. Phu, however, escaped to Malaysia after the robbery. He was repatriated to Singapore in 1998, but once again escaped and stayed in Kuala Lumpur until March 2 this year, according to court documents. According to court documents, Phu had suggested that they rob Li's former employer, then one of 4 partners of an engineering company, because Li was having financial problems. Phu and Li involved Hao in the plan. Li had previously told Phu that the victim would withdraw money for his employees' salaries from an OCBC bank branch on Yung Kuang Road in Taman-Jurong. Phu and Li stole a motorcycle the night before the crime from the void deck of Block 3, Bedok South Avenue 1 and parked it at a car park in Jurong. The next morning, Phu and Hao travelled on the motorbike to the bank outlet, armed with knives. Li drove his own car and stayed in it at a car park nearby, as his former employer would recognize him. At about 11 a.m. on July 5, the victim left the bank after spending 30 minutes withdrawing 44,876 Singapore dollars and 23 cents, and walked towards his car, which was parked about 20 meters away. This was when Phu and Hao approached the victim, while holding the knives wrapped in newspapers. Out of fear, the victim threw the envelope with the money onto the ground. Some money fell out, which Hao and Phu picked up. They made away with all the cash on the stolen motorcycle and went to meet Li at the car park. They got away in the car, and later met up at Phu's home in Chai Chi to split the spoils. Phu received more than 10,000 Singapore dollars, which he used to pay off debts and for his daily expenses. Besides the 4-year jail term, Phu was also disqualified from driving for 3 years. The prosecution proceeded on 2 charges, and one other charge was taken into consideration. In October 1996, Li was sentenced to 3 years, 2 months in jail, 6 strokes of the cane and disqualified from driving for 3 years. 2 months later, Hao was sentenced to 3 years in jail and 12 strokes of the cane. For armed robbery, Phu could have been jailed between 2 and 10 years, and given at least 12 strokes of the cane. For stealing the motorcycle, he could have been jailed for between 1 and 7 years, and fined, and disqualified from driving for at least 3 years. Cannot be caned as he is above the age of 50.